welcome to the Life Balance Podcast with myself, Carol Watson, and the lovely Lisa Smith.
Hi, so today we're going to do a podcast on saying yes. So saying yes probably goes around making the most of opportunities that come your way. And not putting them by the wayside and then living with regret.
So what we're going to do is talk about saying yes and how it's a mindset and what we mean by that. And then we've got some examples of some famouses. Famouses? Is that a real word, or have I made that up?
It is now.
Famous people. And why they agree with the mindset of saying yes. And a few other things that are interesting based around this. And then how you deal with it once you've said yes and it's maybe not going to plan.
Oh, like the thing that you said yes to?
Yeah.
Alright. I thought for some reason she was like, it's maybe not going to plan like right now.
This
podcast not going to plan.
No, this one's okay.
Yeah. So like Carol said, saying yes is definitely a mindset.
Yeah.
So it's being open to new opportunities and
believing in yourself.
Yeah, having that belief that, like once I say yes, that's it, I'm committed, I'm seeing this through to the end, to execution, and that's it, really. So saying yes could be something as simple as, yes, I'm getting up at 5 this morning. Of course I am.
Of course I'm going to have a phone call with you at 5:30. That's exactly what I want to do.
I think we said on previous podcasts that we talk, 5:30 every day. Partly because Carol has to get up and do some work before her little girl gets up as well, and partly because it just starts off our day.
Which is not ours.
Yeah, it's good. And gets us ahead of the curve, which is good before the phone calls start rolling in at around 9. So it could be as simple as that, or simple as saying, yes, I'm going to go to that fitness class tonight.
Yeah.
Or, yes to...
I think we need to add a bit to, it's important to say yes, but it's important to do what you said yes to. So don't say yes to a fitness class and then not go. Nobody likes people who don't show up.
That is true, I know. And not only you're letting yourself down, you're letting other people down.
Someone on that waiting list for yoga who's raging.
that always happens
all the time.
I think the thing that maybe stops a lot of people from saying yes is that, well, especially myself, is that I want to have things as set out as possible before I'm before I'm completely committed to something. Yeah. I want to know that when I say yes, like I'm halfway there.
From start to finish.
I'm 75%. 75% of the way there. Only have to go the other 25%. Yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah. But on the flip side of that is that you have to start things and not wait to get perfect. Otherwise, you won't achieve a mountain of things that other people are achieving. Yeah. The best thing that I heard a little while ago is that people that are less qualified than you are being more successful at the things that you do just because they're going with it. Like, a lot of life is a numbers game. Yeah. So if you're saying yes a lot of times and you're having a lot of opportunities come through your business and through your life and you're executing these all, then of course you're going to be more successful than the other person that's waiting on the sidelines, waiting for things to get completely perfect.
Yeah. And I think a good example of this I've personally experienced and had to just bite my teeth, grit my teeth, bite my tongue, grit my teeth and get on with it and do it anyway, is posting on LinkedIn. So I post a lot of videos on LinkedIn, as do you. And there is my videos are by no means perfect. Like, I've been told to take my sunglasses off. I did it one time, it was really sunny and it was outside, so, but anyway, I've been told where to look in the camera and things like that, and it is, you need to learn these things and not get perfect, but get better as you go. But the thing is, I've started doing these videos and I am getting better with each one, and I can see that. That's not what I wanted to tell you about doing videos on LinkedIn though. I digress. Is that I used to do like a 30-second video when I first started, took me like half an hour, because I would do that many takes, and I would start and I'd be like blah 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 blah, and then forget what I was saying halfway. I like to finish them in song if I got distracted. I'd be like, and I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
random.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I just started, and while it took me ages to in the beginning, now I can do them in one take. Sometimes two if I get really majorly distracted, or if my co-host starts staring off into the distance because she's realised we're in the middle of George Square.
Yeah, I've done that before. No, it wasn't staring off into the distance. Let me explain that. It wasn't. It was that for some reason we were in the middle of the video, and you know, I do videos as well. You get a little bit more confident as you go on, and this couple, this tourist, like a couple of tourists, you can tell, backpacks, you know, all the usual stuff, and they're walking past, and they started staring at us. And I got overwhelmed with a feeling of self-consciousness, and I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. and we had to stop it. Yeah. And that is not like me. Yeah. It was like we did a video, a professional video, for
which looks amazing now. It's all been edited.
Yeah, for one of our what do you call it?
Mentor programs.
Yeah, like mentor programs. And we were on it, and I swear to God, like Carol was laughing hysterical at me because I had my little notes, you know, just to keep me on track. And I kept saying the wrong word, and this word didn't relate to what I was trying to say.
So but it began with the same letter.
Yeah, it began with the same letter, and that was it. And I just kept saying the word, and they were like, "No, start again." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do it." And I was like,
you just
I was
totally
so close to throwing my toys at the pram.
Yeah. But it was mindset, because there's like we do
and
videos all the time,
and then a load more people walked in the room, and then I had like double the people watching me.
But you've done great, and it looks great.
Well, I said, like, if you guys can't use that video, just don't. And then obviously we've got an amazing editing team, and they edited it, and it looks fine. Yeah. It looks fine. But
so funny.
I know.
It's like, what are you doing? You do this all the time.
I know.
Like, chill out.
Anyway, we totally did it.
Yeah. We digress. But you said yes, and you worked with it, and it's all worked out fine.
Yeah.
So it's a good example.
And
it's not a massive detour on the point of our podcast.
I know.
Yeah, so the point is, do not wait for perfect. Just get started, say yes.
Yeah. And that was the other thing I was going to say, that you say that you now do your videos in one take, and I think in terms of, you know, not waiting to get perfect, I think it's because you're doing the videos more regularly, and you're like, you know, this is it, it's a work in progress, and I think you do get caught up in being so perfect at things that, you know, you can look at something and be like, oh no, I could do that again. But if you're hitting the numbers and you're doing it consistently every single day,
you get the result.
You don't have time. You have to just do it.
Yeah. And like, it's things like stuttering over a word. Like we could be in the middle of like a half-hour-long podcast, and if we stutter over one word, like the length of time it takes to go and edit that out or to redo it is not worth it.
And Carol's looking at me because I did the editing. So I have to look at that word and like cut it to this like.
Yeah, but we're not editing.
No,
we're doing them in one take.
So
yeah,
I know. And the other thing that I was going to say there, in terms of you doing it all in one take, is because you're probably doing it more in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think when you're doing things in the moment, and you know, you've maybe got a couple of notes, you know, just to jog you on, but see something happens, right, in your life, and you think, God, yeah, I'm going on social media, I'm going to put it out there, this is my view, I'm really passionate, because you're so passionate about it, because you're in the moment. Of course you can do it in one take, because you know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. And I think we get hung up on other people's opinions, which we need to let go of. It doesn't matter what other people think. You are being you, and that's the only thing that matters.
Everyone has an opinion.
Oh, I've got a great saying about opinions. Opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone has them, and they are good for nothing. Obviously they are, like, when you're born, but let's not get into that. Like, general adult life, you have a belly button, what do you do with it? Nothing.
Or wolves don't care about the opinions of sheep.
Yeah, I like that one too. Good one. Enough one-liners. So once you get going, so Lisa, you've already mentioned that she is the Queen Editor. That's what she's done in her past life. I don't have a clue. So once you get going, like, I was like, yeah, let's do podcasts. Lisa, let's do podcasts. Lisa knows how to edit podcasts. Great decision. Work your network. You can bring so many great people.
Get someone, that can do it for you. Yeah, no, that's totally true.
Yeah, you had a good example of this. I can't remember.
About working your network and saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I think it's more of a, like, so say you're thinking about, I need to be the expert and I need to know every single tiny bit of detail in terms of, I mean, I'm not a builder.
No.
I understand, manager, but I understand how to refurb houses.
Yeah.
I know how to work the numbers and I know how to work budgets.
Yeah.
I know how to pick out a kitchen within my budget.
Yeah.
Within your budget? I tried to stretch it a little bit. It's more the tiles. Tiles make a big difference.
Yeah.
Wet wall, anyway. Flooring. Carpets and paint.
Yeah.
Anyway, accessories, staging. No, anyway, and yeah, I don't know how to mix plaster and put it on a ceiling, or a wall. I just know that I want it to look flat and pristine, and that there's no chips out the walls.
You don't want Arctics and a wood chip.
I know what I don't like. And I know the end result, but I'm not an expert. I don't know how to do that. But you bring in the people that do know, and you bring in the team of builders that do this day in, day out, that can do it faster than you.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to actually put up like wallpaper by yourself? No.
I've never wallpapered anything in my life, and I'm going to be wallpapering a lot in this new house, but I'm not going to do it, and I don't think I'm going to let Gary do it because it'll look dodgy as hell. But I know someone who can wallpaper.
They'll do it faster, they'll do it on budget, they'll do it more professionally than you, and you'll get a better product at the end. No one turns round, like, I'm sorry, anyone that decorates their own house, no one turns round and says, oh, you know that paint? That was fantastic in me. You know what I mean? Yeah. You kind of say,
oh my god, I spent 5 days of my life doing 7 coats on that bloody wall, and you can still see the patches through it.
And then you usually say, I'm going to get someone to do it next time.
Yeah, I'm never painting on my own. Or
it's an art.
We've just moved. Never moving on my own again. Removal company all the way.
Exactly, because again, they'll pack your stuff right, they'll get it there in one piece, they'll do it in a timely manner, they'll do it when you need to do it, and you can take care of your little one. You know what I mean?
Not going to go injuring your foot, dropping dishwashers on it and things like that. So, get people who are better than you to do those things.
Carol's currently sitting with a little pair of slippers on because she has injured her foot in the move last week.
Yeah, that's a bit enthusiastic. Never mind, it's all good. So one of the reasons that I wanted to have this as a topic for a podcast is I watched a video a while ago on Facebook with Will Smith, and and he was talking about how he done the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you are not from our generation, that was like a popular TV series. I think like kids don't know what that is. You think? I don't know.
No, reruns all the time. It's like Friends.
Yeah, you're never escaping it.
Comedy Central.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So he was doing this video about how he'd been had some success as a rapper, but had been a little bit naughty. Not on purpose naughty, but just hadn't paid his taxes. And
who was it?
Yeah, he was skint.
Oh, right.
He hadn't paid the IRS. Oh. That's what that means.
Yeah.
So he was famous and skint. He said that's like the worst combination ever. And his girlfriend had told him that he had to hang about this studio to try and get a good contact. So he met Quincy Jones, who put him on the spot and made him audition for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, I think he came up with the idea and things, and he was like, you need to do it now, and he had the choice to say yes, I'll do it, and go for it. Within that, he had like 10 minutes to do it, Or you could have said, no, we need to reschedule, and then would have it happened? We don't know, who knows? So he'd auditioned and done it, and then next thing he knows, he's getting legals done to get a contract for doing the show, because he had stepped up when the time came. So his motto is always say yes when the opportunity comes, and that's what we've based this on.
Yeah, it's legendary. It's like iconic.
Yeah.
And I suppose he probably just he only had 10 minutes, right, to come up with it, so he probably used something, you know, that felt right, and you know,
or a real life experience,
and you know, something that he could work with, and if you keep something, you know, and if you use something that you know a lot of the subject about, and you're passionate about, it'll come through. I mean, surely that's what he did, and it did, and he must have blown them away with it.
Well, obviously
an audition.
We're still watching it now, years later.
And I think, I read something about Steven Spielberg, so maybe one of the greatest directors of all time, you know.
We like his stuff.
I know. He directed Gremlins, is that right?
No idea, I remember. I'm not good.
Definitely Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Gremlins used to keep me up at night.
Yeah, it's scared me a
Probably
little bit.
does. No, I don't know. I've not watched it. Anyway, so he used to have a theory. Obviously, he was very young when he got into directing, and you know, he was managing the whole big film crews, and like something like Jurassic Park, like that was like groundbreaking to do a movie like that. And he had this vision, and he was like, this is what I wanted. But he would go on set each day, and he would be like, I have no idea how I'm going to get from now to there, to what I needed at the end of the day, but we were going to get there. But the thing was, he never used to share that. He never used to share that with his team. He acted like he knew exactly what was going on, and if something went like, you know, the wrong way, he'd be like, no, you know, like, let's do it again. And he had the vision, and everyone trusted in his vision. But what he did was he used the best team around him, so, in the best resources. So I don't know, what would you call that? CGI effects?
Yeah.
God knows. But they were groundbreaking, and he used the best people in the industry, and you know, made hundreds of millions of dollars from the takings from his films, and
that's he knew where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And he had the team around him to get there.
Yeah. Like E.T. Oh, what a legendary film. But I mean, like, who puts a little alien
on a bike,
in a basket on a bike, and flies the bike, you know what I mean, like over the moon? Like, that's just iconic now.
Yeah.
But Betty didn't have that in his plan,
No.
And that's what he used to say. The secret was to have your plan, to have your team around you, but to not share your initial fears. Yeah. And I bet you that's what Will Smith has done as well. He never went in front of those directors saying, oh my god, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. He just went in there and absolutely nailed it. Like, that's what he had planned. Like, that's the way it was meant to go.
That's why we stood outside the studio.
Yeah.
This idea.
He was like, I'm ready. Like, this is my idea. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. So that's examples of some famous people who say yes. Famouses. Yep. And taking it back to a more relatable example, I, as part of my degree, studied about HR, and we spoke about how when a man looks at a job description, he wants to meet 50% of the things that's available. Of the things that you have to meet for this job. They'll only look to meet 50%. Whereas a female, we want to meet 70%. So it's a much higher percentage. Basically, my point is, as a female, we need to be more willing to say yes than a man. But even 50% is quite, I don't know, is it quite high? I don't know. Yeah, well, I was always told if you have a decision to make, if you're 70% of the way there, then you should go for it. And if you've only got two things, enter a third scenario, and then you've not got like 50-50 a year in people are gonna, you're probably gonna laugh at this, right? But my dad would always make major decisions in our household over a flip of a coin. Really? Swear to God.
and now me and my husband do it.
Do you? What kind of decisions?
Like, I mean, things like
house.
Yeah, we probably would. Yeah, because we're never. It sounds terrible, right? I love my house, like I really do, and it was meant to be a flip, and now we're staying in it. It's one that we kept, but I'm not emotionally attached. And I think maybe if you work in property, you maybe become a little bit more conditioned to that. Yeah, that you're like, oh, it's just bricks and mortar sort of thing. Because there's always another house.
And going back to a previous podcast that we've done about constant change for growth, then that's exactly it. You know that this house doesn't define you. You've got bigger vision.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. Yeah, the house doesn't define you. The house doesn't define you. Neither does the job or the car or anything like that. And so we.
What's inside? That's cheesy. Sorry.
What's inside that counts. We make major decisions on the flip of a coin. If we have one or the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes. What that actually does is it's not going with, right, okay, I said heads, I need to go with heads. It's if you think, oh no, I would have rather went with tails, you've got your answer.
Yeah, definitely.
That's actually what it does.
Forces you into decision.
Yeah.
We speak about this, about indecision and how it holds you back and how you need to make decisions fast. And I'd actually so I think this is leading us into the what if it doesn't work out? What do you do? So in making the decision, you can sometimes get delayed by indecision because you can't decide. You're not willing to base it on a flip of a coin, even so you end up not actually going with the results anyway. It just kind of forces you into realising what you'd rather.
What you wanted.
Yeah. So I posted on LinkedIn about how you needed to make decisions fast. And someone was like, well, what if it's not the time to make the decision? And I think that's a good point, because when do you know that you need to make the decision? How fast are you going to have to make the choice? And I think what our point is, like looking at the Will Smith scenario, is if he didn't say yes then, he might not have ever had that show. And you don't know what situations are going to be like that and what situations aren't. I think there is so much opportunity out there as you can't actually say yes to everything, but if it's on your path, your chosen path, your purpose, so we did a podcast on this about the big why, if it's something that you're focused on and it's related to that industry, then say yes. If it's something totally different, if it's a shiny object in a total different industry, it's nothing to do with what you want to achieve in life, then that's where I think you can say no, or maybe thanks for thinking about me, but not just now. That
was very diplomatic of you.
Yeah.
Thanks for thinking about me, but not just now. Yeah. I think you're right, and I think it comes from this sort of gut feeling as well. Like if you know something's not right for you, then it's not right. So the time will pass anyway. Yes.
But it's whether you're going to take action now or whether you're going to wait 6 months and do it. Like, there's not going to be a perfect time. So I had my daughter halfway through my 4th year. That is a prime example of when probably not to have a child. But I wanted to have one before I was 30.
I know.
And I was just doing a wee bit of mental maths there. Yeah, I had her before I was 30 or when I was 30. And you either make the decision now or be okay with waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's going to force you into a decision.
Yeah.
But if you know you're going to end up making that same decision in 6 months, then why not make it now? You could be 6 months a lot further down the line.
Yeah, they talk about the pain of... They actually talk about the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You could actually turn that into the pain of decision.
Yeah.
Or the pain of regret,
Yeah, or indecision.
The pain of indecision or the pain of regret. Yeah. And, I suppose the pain of making a decision. Yeah. Well, I suppose if you don't go ahead with something, you are making a decision. Yeah. But,
If it's something you think, well, what if I didn't do this? In like 10 years' time, are you going to be sitting there going, oh man, I should have really just given it a go?
That's why I'm here.
Yep.
That's why I now know Carol.
Yep.
I swear to God, because I was like, I want to do something, I'm maybe not sure like how I'm going to get to my end goal, but I know that I need to remove a glass ceiling, I need to be able to make as much money as I want to make, and as big a company as I want to build, and I knew that I would regret it if I didn't.
Yeah.
If I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I knew that by the time I was 40, if I didn't have these things in place, and I look back at my life, I would have been like, you know, my 30s were a prime example of how I should have been doing the things that people don't want to do in their 30s, and being uncomfortable all the time, and, you know, making huge decisions in your life and pushing yourself because of I have in my head that this is where I want to be when I'm 40.
Yeah.
And
here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you say yes and maybe things aren't turning out the way that you wanted them to, you know something, it doesn't matter, you can either stop or I'd read a great book when I was at uni called The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, R-I-E-S, and my biggest takeaway, basically, he has a plan for startups where you start with what you want your customers to experience, and then you work your way back. And your first product is not necessarily your end product. They call it a minimal viable product, at MVP. But it lets you get started, and then you test and measure along the way. And the biggest thing I took away from this book is that you can pivot. If something's not going the way you want it to, you just turn a wee bit, you just change, tweak a little thing. And they're talking about that from a product point of view, but we can do that in our property business. You can do it in absolutely anything. Well, obviously, if you're having a child, then that's something you can't really pivot with. Like once you're kind of pregnant, or you're not. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's maybe certain decisions that you should take this with a pinch of salt, but for most business things, it doesn't matter. Just get going anyway. Just do it. Yeah. So always be reviewing, test and measuring, like I just said, and then you can see how you're progressing and if you are on the right path. But step out, believe in yourself, know that you can do something. Potentially, if you need to work on self-belief, then that's where you need to begin. Something we're going to cover in a future podcast. I know, we could talk about this forever, exactly. But yeah, thanks so much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed the show. If you can do us a wee favour and leave us a review and share with anyone you think would like to hear. And if you can subscribe to the podcast and our YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you.